Should be a fun one from TD Garden here tonight. The Boston Bruins hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. Bruins looking to extend their 10-game home winning streak here against Pittsburgh tonight as we are underway. Sit back and enjoy this one. 33-21-5 overall record for Boston. 22-8-1 record here in home games. Pittsburgh coming in 16-7-6 on the road, 31-15-13 overall. As here's a centering pass, goes off a skate. Carlson takes it away here for Pittsburgh. Second meeting between these teams this season. Bruins won 1-0 in the previous meeting up in Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby working it back behind the net, pestered on his way in. Zadorov takes it away here for the Bruins. Steves brings it up. Coming in wide, circles the net. Steves back out to the point. McAvoy works it in. Couldn't get a shot off. Comes in on net, knocked away, and it comes to the near side. What up, Bento? Raquel taken away by Lindholm. Zacha now with it here for Boston, pestered on his way in. Sidney Crosby with the defense. Shinnikov couldn't get a clean shot off, floats back up top. What up, Tinkanator? St. Ivany brings it in. Fires a shot, save. The rebound goes right through. Zacha up top. Yes, this is the AI play. Middlestad tried to drop it off. Good defense on his way in by Pittsburgh. First matchup between these two teams with a low-scoring affair in Pittsburgh. 1-0 was the final score of that one. Big hits in front of the bench. Pittsburgh keeps it in the zone here. Shea denied by Swayman. Goes back behind the net. Middlestad will get it out to Victor Arvidsson, who floats it into neutral ice. Zacha picks up the loose change, cuts inside, goes back behind the net. Arvidsson recovers, circles inside, back in a try, goes off a body, still loose, and controlled by Pittsburgh. Circles the boards around, all the way through to Laurie. He's pestered, Pittsburgh brings it in, that one shot denied off a body in front, comes back out to the point, kept alive. St. Ivany off a body in front, hack and whack in the middle, still loose, a shot denied by Swayman. Goes out wide, Zacha through center, probably tomorrow, Bento. A lot of physical play happening here in the early going. Brazeau, a shot, off a body in front, still loose, and Swayman sprawls out to find the puck. Stoppage with 15:52 to go in the opening period. Swayman, one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. Making a couple of good saves here in the early going. And a faceoff coming here in the Bruins' end. Controlled by Pittsburgh. Letang drops it off for Kulak. Tried to load it up. And it goes out wide. Inside. Brazeau, score! Pittsburgh off and running here in Boston as Brazeau puts it in. And it's 1-0 Penguins. Early start for Pittsburgh on the attack here against Swayman. And it goes right off his glove and into the back of the net. Early lead here for Pittsburgh. So Brazeau makes it 1-0 here in the early going. 4:19 into this game. And Pittsburgh off and running here in Boston. Battle for it in front of the Pittsburgh bench. Comes back out to center. Taken away by Boston. 4 shots on goal for Pittsburgh. Just 1 for the Bruins. Tried to cut it into the slot there. Disrupted by Letang. Goes to the far half wall. Now in the trapezoid. Out in front. Pasternak denied by Sillips. What a try there for Boston as David Pasternak let it fly. And he is denied. Face off in the Pittsburgh end. Controlled by Boston. Lindholm on the point. Inside right on the doorstep. Still loose and controlled by Pittsburgh. Back out to center. Bantha to the near side and Brazeau the goal scorer. Taken away by Minton in the defensive end. Here's Pasternak. Pasternak walks it in, waiting for help. Tried to center himself to the inside, sticked away by Brazeau. And back out to center it comes here for Pittsburgh. Kendall disrupted on his way in, keeps it alive, it works down low. Lindholm jumps on it for the Bruins. And back out to center with Minton. Minton to Morgan Geekie. Inside, Pasternak denied by Sillips. Goes back behind the net. And Pittsburgh will get it back out to center. Minton with the takeaway in center ice here for Boston. Taken back away by Dewar. And a shot on net denied by Swayman. Goes back behind. Lindholm there for Boston. And it comes back out to center all the way down. This will be icing. 13:32 to go, opening period, 1-0 Pittsburgh. Out shooting Boston in the early going, 5 shots on goal to 3. Minton will face off here for Pittsburgh, and it's controlled by the Penguins. Carlson lets it fly, tip try out in front, goes wide. Rust works it in behind the trapezoid. Kicks it into the corner, Boston Lindholm is there. Zadorov can't handle it. Carlson keeps it in for a moment. And it floats back deep in the Boston end. Lindholm gets there here for the Bruins. Here's Morgan Geekie. Tried to get it out. A takeaway. Battle for it right wing circle. And Lindholm recovers here for Boston. Zadorov back through center. Zadorov feeds it in around the boards. Rust there for Pittsburgh, working it behind his own net. Rust feeds it up to Raquel. He walks it in. Raquel to the near half wall. Zadorov inside. One-timer from outside. Tip try goes well wide of the net. To the far half wall. Wotherspoon can't handle it. Minton takes it away here for the Bruins. Back out to center ice. Morgan Geekie brings it up here for Boston. Feeds it in. Koivunen gets knocked down. That's going to be a penalty. Delayed call here on the Bruins for a cross-check. And Boston touches it. And we're going to get a power play upcoming here for Pittsburgh. And as Tankinator likes to say, you can't do that. Fraser Minton will go to the penalty box. A cross-check here on the Bruins. And a power play upcoming here for Pittsburgh. Up 1-0 here on the road. Boston coming in with a 10-game home winning streak. And it hangs in the balance here tonight against the Penguins. Boston initially wins the faceoff, and they'll get it back out through center and feed it in. So a first look at the power play unit here for the Penguins and the penalty kill unit here for Boston in this game tonight. Chinakhov brings it up here for Pittsburgh. He's pestered by Lindholm, who takes it away. And Boston will clear the zone. Here's Isimo, who feeds it in. Kindle will start the break in here for the Penguins. Comes in right wing, goes inside. Chinakhov with the bobble back behind the net, recovered by Lindholm, who feeds it into the corner. Kastelik gets crunched back behind the play, but gets it out. Bruins will bring it up short-handed. Isimo cuts inside, drops it off. Lindholm off the post. Comes to the near side. Lindholm keeps it alive for the Bruins. Back out to the point and Peak off a body. Good block out in front, and here come the Penguins. Chinakhov pestered on his way in by Peak, who takes it away. Back out to center ice. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Sidney Crosby intercepted in center by Steves. And the Bruins back out to center. Curley feeds it in. Novak Pindle on the boards, floats out the near half wall, controlled by Boston. 10 seconds to go on the penalty here for Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby up ahead quickly to Rust as the power play is about to expire, and an excellent PK there for the Bruins. Back to full strength. McAvoy centering pass disrupted by Crosby. And Pittsburgh jumps on the loose puck. Rust cross ice here, Sidney Crosby. Walks it in. Pester to the outside. Hurley jumps on it here for Boston. A shot on net. Sillives makes the save, and he'll stop play with 9:02 to go in a fast-paced opening period of play here from TD Garden. Face-off control by the Bruins. Peak denied. Sillives just got a piece of it. Shea recovers there for Pittsburgh. Circles the far half wall. And the Penguins work it in their own end. Up ahead, Dewar. Walks it in, waiting for help to come. pestered on his way in, tried to send it in out in front. Victor Arvidsson there for the Bruins, and they get it back out to center. Penguins take it back away along the near boards. Floats back into the Pittsburgh end. 5 shots on goal for both of these teams. 1-0 Pittsburgh lead here in the early going. Dewar pestered through center ice, taken away by Boston. Here's Middlestad. He's pestered on his way into the far half wall. St. Ivany is there for Pittsburgh, taken away by Zacha. And now Shea turns back here for Pittsburgh. McAvoy back to Laurie. Laurie walks it in and fires a shot, saved by Sillives. No further play. 7:32 to go in the opening period. And Boston now has the advantage in shots on goal. Bruins win the faceoff. McAvoy sends it into the slot, taken away by Carlson. And here come the Penguins. Numbers if they hurry. Carlson up ahead, kicked away by Swayman. And Zadorov recovers the loose change. Back out into the Boston end. Walking it in, the Bruins, working it into the corner, back behind the net. Carlson recovers there for Pittsburgh, working it in the trapezoid. Kicks to the far half wall. Boston on top of it inside. And a chance there, goes wide of the net. Pasternak circles in, drops it off. A one-timer goes off a body. The rebound down in front, squirts out wide. Wotherspoon there, can't handle it. Carlson now recovers for the Penguins. And Kindle will get it out of the zone. Rizzo, the lone goal scorer in this game, walks it in. Fires a shot, saved by Swayman. Face-off controlled by Boston in their own end. Under 6 minutes to go in the opening period. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Kulak takes it away in center. Right back to Boston. Lindholm out wide. Look to center and in. Good stick on his way through. Goes back behind the net. All the way through to Mantha. And Pittsburgh back through center. Mantha pestered on his way in. Floats out deep. Aspirant there for the Bruins. Battling in the corner. Floats the near half wall. And Geekie will get it out. Letang jumps on it in neutral ice. 5 minutes to go, opening period. 7 shots on goal for Pittsburgh, 6 for Boston. As they battle in neutral ice, here comes Morgan Geekie. Geekie walks it in, centering, score! What a feed! And it's Lindholm who puts it in, and the Bruins have tied it. What a feed by Morgan Geekie. And the one-time try finds the back of the net for Lindholm. Right off the inside of the pipe and deflects into the back of the net. And we're tied at 1 here in the opening period. Icymote flips it in on net, knocked away, and it goes to the corner. Koivunen jumps on it for Pittsburgh, sends it back out to center. Icymote brings it back in. Kastelik can't handle it. Pittsburgh working it in their own end, and now back out to center. Chinakhov walks it in. Centering pass disrupted by Icymote. Under 4 minutes to go, opening period, off to a good start here in Boston. Already more goals in this game than we had in the first matchup between these two teams, where it was a 1-0 final score in the first matchup up in Pittsburgh. Icymote walks it in, disrupted on his way in by Shea, kept alive by Peak, who sends it in on net, and Silliv says no. Nine shots on goal for Boston, 7 for Pittsburgh. Face-off controlled by the Penguins. Here's Sidney Crosby outside Rust. Rust works it up ahead, drops it off for Crosby. Couldn't handle it in the slot, and a shot denied by Swayman. Battle for it along the boards, kicks out to the far side. Peak is there for the Bruins, and they get it back out to center. It'll go all the way down for an icing. 2:50 to go in an action-packed opening period of play. Bruins win the faceoff in their own end. Middlestad pinned along the boards. Zaka picks out the loose change for the Bruins, back out to center. Russ takes it away here for Pittsburgh. A shot on net denied by Swayman. The rebound comes to Crosby, sends it right through the blue paint. Carlson now to the inside. Raquel turns and fires, and an incredible stop by Jeremy Swayman. With 2:11 to go in the period, Jeremy Swayman sprawls out to snare that one out of the air. Looked like his body was going to the right. His glove flew out to the left. And Swayman's able to snare it to keep it out. 2:11 to go in the period. Face off in the Bruins end, controlled by Boston. Minton works it in, tried to fire a shot in there, and it got disrupted. Boston trying to keep it in, but they can't. Here comes Dewar. Dewar brings it up. He fires a shot saved by Swayman, deflects to the near half wall. A lot of bodies over there battling for it. Pittsburgh gets it out, and now Pasternak takes it away. Here he comes. Pasternak up ahead for the Bruins, cuts inside, tried to get off a shot, no, and it floats all the way to the far half wall. Kulak jumps on it here for the Penguins. Back out to center ice, taken away by Minton. Minton walks it in. Tried to center it, disrupted by Pittsburgh back behind the net. To the far half wall it floats. Letang jumps on it here for the Penguins. Geekie keeps it on side. McAvoy with the bobble keeps it alive. Works it in. McAvoy, score! Might have deflected it out in front. And Charlie McAvoy gives the Bruins a 2-1 lead. That might have gone off a Pittsburgh stick. Let's take a look. Fires it top shelf over Sillavs. It went right between the legs. Did not make contact. What a shot. And it's 2-1. Boston on top here in the opening period. We're under a minute to go in this first period. 2-1 our score. A bobble into the slot, and Novak takes it away for Pittsburgh. Welcome back, Bento. Mantha walks it in with 15 seconds left. To the inside, Lindholm takes it away. And Morgan Geekie back through center ice. Final seconds tick down in this opening period. Back out to center it comes. And it's flipped in up ahead, and that'll close out the period. Action-packed start here in Boston. It started off with a Pittsburgh 1-0 lead. And now Boston has scored the latest two to take a 2-1 lead to the first intermission. Start of the second period here from Boston. The Bruins have a 2-1 lead over Pittsburgh, off to a very entertaining start. 11 shots on goal in that first period for Pittsburgh, 10 for the Bruins, and a 2-1 lead for the hometown team, Boston Bruins. Morgan Geekie feeds it in. Carlson there to pick it up behind the Pittsburgh net. Carlson gets it into the corner. Pittsburgh works it in their own end. Here's Raquel up through center. Walks it in. Raquel centering pass disrupted. Bobbled in the slot. Still loose. Weatherspoon gets it back to the point. Denied by Swayman. To the far half wall, Steves recovers, and back out to center come the Bruins. Geekie floats it in deep. Carlson recovers there for Pittsburgh. Back out to center comes Rust. Offside, the call on Pittsburgh. Charlie McAvoy scored the latest goal for the Bruins to give them the 2-1 lead in the final minute of that opening period. Here comes Novak, who walks it in. Novak, a shot denied by Swayman. Comes out to the near side, goes right through the crease. And McAvoy's on it for Pittsburgh. Here's Pasternak. Zadorov now as they work it in their own end. Back out to center it comes. Pittsburgh jumps on it. Intercepted by Minton. Minton feeds it in around the boards. Brazeau works it in. Pasternak takes it away here for the Bruins. Working it back behind the net. Circles all the way around here to Lindholm. Downstairs. Back up top. Tic-tac-toe. Good passing as it comes into the slot. Still loose. A hack and whack. And a whiff on the shot by Minton. Still has it. And now taken away by Pittsburgh. Back out to center. Bruins work it back in their own end. Mantha with a bobble out to Letang. Now Brazeau walks it in. He gets laid out. Over to Kindle. He couldn't get a clean shot up, but a penalty called on Boston. Interference is going to be the call on Kastelic. And Pittsburgh's going to go to the power play for the second time in this game. Pittsburgh is 0 for 1 on the penalty here tonight. Didn't really have much success at all on that first power play. See if they have it here on this one to try to tie this game. Boston wins the initial faceoff. They'll flip it out of the zone. Carlson flags it down. Battle for it in front of the benches. Floats back to the Bruins end. He gets laid out as it floats in deep. Over to get it is Crosby. Sidney Crosby drops it off for Rust. A shot denied by Swayman. Peak recovers the rebound back behind along the goal line. And Boston with icy moat will get it out. Beat it in around the boards. Circles over to Lindholm. Centering pass. A shorthanded attempt there for Boston. And Silibs finds the puck. Minute 19 to go on the penalty here for Pittsburgh. Shorthanded, the Bruins work it up. And now turn it over to Kindle. Kindle intercepted by Morgan Geekie. Geekie tried to walk it in, pestered through neutral ice. Lindholm now jumps on it for the Bruins. Pindle on the boards. Under a minute to go on the penalty. Lindholm escaped for a moment. Still alive in the Pittsburgh end, and now the Penguins jump on it. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage. Here for Pittsburgh. Brazeau, the lone goal scorer for the Penguins, walks it in. Centering pass denied. The rebound goes off a body and kept out by Swayman. What a try there for Pittsburgh, and it flips back out to center. 23 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Brazeau. Walks it in again. Brazeau working it into the corner, back behind the net. Laurie jumps on it for the Bruins, and back out to center it comes, and all the way down, and that'll do it for the power play. So Boston's PK unit now 2 for 2 as they're back to full strength and feed it in. Kindle works it ahead for the Penguins. Kindle on the near half wall, floats in deep. Zadorov there for the Bruins, and they'll get it back out to center. McAvoy up ahead. Kastelic with a step, cuts inside, couldn't get a clean one off, and it's knocked away. Big hit back behind the play. Here's Lauzon. Works it in, fires a shot, saved. Jeremy Swayman. Just realized my mic was muted. I apologize. Face-off controlled by the Bruins. McAvoy fires a shot. Tip try out in front, controlled by Silovs. No further play halfway through this second period. Face-off comes into the slot, back out to the point, and Zadorov sends it in down low, and it pesters into the corner. Middlestad, a short-sighted attempt denied, and it goes back behind the net. Kindle turns back here for Pittsburgh. Here's Koivunen. Now Shea with it, who bobbles on his way in. Shinnikov couldn't get a clean one off. Into the slot, back behind the net. Koivunen disrupted by Victor Arvidsson. Pittsburgh keeps it inside for a moment. A lot of bodies there along the boards. Boston jumps on it with McAvoy. Here's Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson walks it in. Looking for a center. Drops it off. Intercepted by Chinnikov. And it comes in on net. Silovs freezes. .8:51 to go in the period. 20-15 shots on goal in favor of Pittsburgh. Kulak walks it through center. Works it in wide. Centering pass. A shot denied. Jeremy Swayman. Face-off controlled by Boston. Out to center it comes. Kulak jumps on it here for the Penguins. Here's Lindholm for the Bruins. Bobbles on his way in. Brazeau turns back here for the Penguins. Brazeau crunched on the boards. Battle for it along the near half wall. A lot of bodies in there. Steves jumps out the pack with it. And here's Laurie, who dangles his way through center. Morgan Geekie now. Back to Laurie. Laurie tried to work it in down low. Disrupted on his way in. Letang gets it in the trapezoid. Feeds it all the way down the length of the ice. Icing will be called. 7.5 to go here in the second period. Bruins win the faceoff. Lindholm squares it up off a body in front. Goes to the far half wall. Mantha there for the Penguins. Turns it over to Isimo. Sends it into the slot. That one goes off a body in front. Asperat to the point. Lindholm just wide of the net. Curley the rebound off the boards. Loses it. And Pittsburgh back out to center. Mantha walks it up, surrounded by Bruins. Works it in. A backhanded try denied by Swayman. Goes to the near half wall. And controlled by Boston. Curley feeds it in. Circles around. Pittsburgh gains control in their own end. Back out to center. St. Ivany works it back behind the net. Back out to the point. A shot off a body. Comes to the near side. Witherspoon. St. Ivany now. A trip try out in front. On the doorstep and off the pipe. Right there. And he couldn't finish. Comes to the near half wall. Circles back into the trapezoid. Pittsburgh keeps it alive. Cuts inside. Back out to the point. Witherspoon couldn't get a clean one off. Now Koivunen circles back. That one blocked down by Middlestad. And here come the Bruins. Middlestad centers. Currently can't handle. And Pittsburgh turns back as the Bruins change. Here's Koivunen. Koivunen walks it in. Centering pass off a body. Still loose. The rebound goes off of Swayman. And Geekie recovers for Boston. Pittsburgh a couple tries right there on the doorstep. Now Zacha on the other end. Bobbles on his way in. And Koivunen back out to center. Pittsburgh walks it in. Peak disrupts defensively. And the Bruins back out. Zacha cross ice to Isimo. Isimo sends it in just off the side of the cage. Wraparound try out in front. Silovs with the stop. 4:25 to go in the second period. Right there on the doorstep on Swayman, and he hit the pipe. He had a wide open left side of the net to the right of Swayman, and he bangs it right off the bar. And that would have been the equalizer. Face-off control by Pittsburgh. They trail by 1. It's 2-1 Boston here at TD Garden. Raquel walks it in. Centering pass to Crosby off a body in front. Carlson recovers back out to the point. Crosby can't handle it, and it comes back out to center ice. Rust will bring it back in here for the Penguins. Centering to Crosby. Squares it up off a body, and Swayman lays out to find it. With bodies flying everywhere, Pittsburgh on the attack here towards the end of the second period. We have not had a goal in the second period of play. Faceoff comes out into the slot and floats back into neutral ice. Crosby pestered on his way through. Raquel now picks up the loose change, and it floats to the near side. Zadorov there for the Bruins. Raquel gets knocked down hard by Zadorov. Crosby keeps it alive. Tried to send it in out in front. Nobody home there for Pittsburgh. Zadorov walks it in. 3-on-2 and denied by Sillows. 2:56 to go in the period. No goals scored in this second. All 3 of our goals in this game came in the first. Faceoff controlled by Pittsburgh. Kulak crunched on the boards. Geekie takes it away. Centering pass. Steeves denied. And it goes back behind the net. Steeves out in front. Geekie off a body. Goes into the trapezoid. Kulak there for Pittsburgh. And the Penguins will get it out. Here's Kindle. Kindle walks it in. Working it down low. Kindle tried to send it in out in front. That one denied by Swayman. Battle for it along the boards. Floats right through the crease. Lindholm there for the Bruins. And it's back out to center. Under 2 minutes to go in the period. Chinnikov walks it in, looking for a center. Pestered in the corner. And Steeves takes it away. Good defense by McAvoy. And here's Zadorov across the red line. Zadorov works it to the top of the slot. Pestered back into neutral ice. Delayed offsides on Boston. And now here's Lizotte for the Penguins. He's tripped. And another power play upcoming here for the Penguins. And this is going to be their 3rd of the game. Mason Laurie called for the trip. And as Tankinator likes to say, you can't do that. Face-off control by the Penguins. Carlson bobbles. On the wing, Russ back to Carlson. Fires a shot, save. Jeremy Swayman. 1:09 to go in the period. Pittsburgh keeps it on this side. Carlson fires off a body, and Lindholm will flip it up and out. Just under a minute to go in the period. Boston takes control in center ice. Peak walks it in shorthanded. Goes off a skate down in front. Chinnikov back through center here for Pittsburgh. 0 for 2 on the power play tonight are the Penguins. Chinnikov right on the doorstep, intercepted by Lindholm. Back the other way, Boston with an errant pass. Taken back over by Mantha. Pindle on the boards. 23 seconds to go in the period. Just over a minute to go in the power play. Here's Kendall. Walks it in. Kindle trying to get around, and it comes into the corner. Kindle back out. Carlson to the other side of Brazeau. Shot denied by Swayman. Back to Brazeau. He couldn't handle it. Goes into the corner with 2 seconds left. Mantha tried to feed it in, and that'll be that for the second period. No goals, but a lot of action. 2-1 our score as we head to the third period. Back here at TD Garden here in Boston. A 2-1 lead for the Bruins as we start the third period. Pittsburgh starts this period with a power play for 41 more seconds, trying to find the equalizer. And we are back underway for the third period. Rust will walk it in, center into Crosby, denied the rebound, goes back behind the net. Carlson now whiffed on the shot. Good defense on the outside by Minton, and here he comes who flips it in. This is the third power play of the game for Pittsburgh, and they're 0 for 2. And they've got 11 seconds to go on this one. Raquel denied Swayman. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Pittsburgh looking for the equalizer. Boston looking to kill off another penalty. And they will. So 0 for 3 now is Pittsburgh on the power play. PK unit for Boston has been great. Minton takes it away and fires a shot saved by Sillovs on the short side. Jeremy Swayman has been a brick wall in between the pipes per usual for the Bruins. Just one goal for Pittsburgh came early in this game. This game started out with a Pittsburgh 1-0 lead. Boston has scored the latest 2 goals of this game. No goals in that second period. All of our goals came in the first. Kendall will face off against Lindholm, back to the point. McAvoy squares it up off a body. Might have hit his own player. Geekie lets it fly, and Silov says no again. 28 shots on goal for Pittsburgh, 22 for the Bruins. And we'll get another face-off here in the Pittsburgh end. Boston keeps it alive. Zadorov off a body in front. Geekie into the slot, couldn't handle it. And Witherspoon turns back here for Pittsburgh. Witherspoon walks it in. Good stick by Zadorov back behind the net. Koivunen takes control for Pittsburgh. Good poke there by Swayman, who takes it away. How about that? Steves walks it in. Works it in back behind the net. Out in front, Lindholm couldn't get a clean one off. Bobble for in the left wing and taken back out to center. Here's Kendall. Kendall walks it in, trying to drop it off, comes in on net. Swayman has to bat it away. And Morgan Geekie recovers here for the Bruins. Here he comes. Picked off in center by Letang. Chinnikov brings it in for Pittsburgh. Fires a shot, saved. Jeremy Swayman. Pittsburgh wins the faceoff. Kulak inside. Dewar couldn't handle it. Asperot in the corner gets knocked down. That might be a cross-check, and it will be. So now a penalty called on Pittsburgh. Extra skater in for the moment for the Bruins. Icy-Malt loses it, and that will be the whistle. Power play upcoming here for Boston, their first of the night. It's a cross-check down low on the other end on Lizotte. First power play of the night for the Bruins. Pittsburgh on their end is 0 for 3. See if the Bruins can cash in with the man advantage. And a Minton shot goes wide of the net. Arvidsson down low, Middlestad. Short-sided attempt goes off the side of the cage. Back into the trapezoid, Sidney Crosby out there. And Pittsburgh gets it out. Lindholm gets there first on the far side. Victor Arvidsson, now Middlestad. Middlestad crosses the red line, works it in. Tried to send a shot in, and Kulak takes it off his stick. And St. Ivany gets it out to neutral ice. And as Tankinator says, you can't do that. Here's Minton to Laurie. Laurie sets and fires, and it's denied by Sillovs. Works it back behind the net. Kulak jumps on it for Pittsburgh, back out to center. 1 minute to go on the man advantage here for Boston. Bruins working it in their own end. Here's Pasternak to the near side, and Arvidsson walks it in. 3-on-2. Pasternak denied. Sillovs Goes back behind the net. Novak brings it back out to center. He's pestered by Pasternak. Brazeau takes it and flips it back into the Bruins' end. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Isimo on the near side. Walks it in, tried to center it. Good defense. St. Ivany takes it away. And back out to center it comes. Brazeau slows it down as he walks it in. Taken away by McAvoy, but Pittsburgh kills off that penalty. Back to full strength, the Penguins. Isimo with a head of steam, drops it off to no man's land, and St. Ivany takes it away. And Pittsburgh back out to center. Here's Novak. Novak fires a shot, saved by Swayman. No further play with 14:51 to go in the third. So we've had 4 power plays in this game, 3 for Pittsburgh, 1 for Boston, and combined, these teams are 0 for 4. Pittsburgh keeps it on this side. Letang on the point, tipped out of play with 14:45 to go in the third. Bruins win the faceoff in their own end, maintaining a 1-goal lead. First matchup these two teams played back in Pittsburgh earlier this year was a low-scoring affair. This one a low-scoring affair as well, but still very entertaining. It was a 1-0 final score in their first matchup up in Pittsburgh. Here's Carlson. Walks it in, tried to square up, and good defense by McAvoy. Steves jumps on it for the Bruins, and they work it in their own end. Russ takes it away back in center ice. Sidney Crosby works it in, flips it in around the boards. First guy to it is Zadorov, who's pinned along the near half wall. Floats out to Wotherspoon, sends it inside. Zadorov picks it off, and here come the Bruins. Morgan Geekie slows it down, Pester to the far side. Back out to center here for Pittsburgh. Here's Mantha. Mantha drops it off to no man's land, and it goes all the way back down. Race for the puck here. Controlled by Dewar for Pittsburgh. Wotherspoon gets it out to Rust. Dewar walks it in. Fires a shot, saved by Swayman. The rebound controlled by Geekie. And now Lindholm back through center. Lindholm pestered on his way in by Shea. Good defense by Pittsburgh. Here's Kindle. Taken away by Kastelik. Head in deep. Around the boards it comes. A bobble and a takeaway. Kastelik right there. Couldn't get a shot off. Back up to the point. Pasternak. Kastelik inside. Denied. Sellups on Pasternak. 12-12 to go in the third. Still a 1-goal game. Pittsburgh wins the faceoff in their own end. Still looking for the equalizer. Dewar flips it in around. Peak recovers back behind the net for Boston. Back out to center and Isimo. Taken away by Letang. Here's Lizotte. Drops it off to the outside. A bobble. Kulak pinned along the boards. Taken away by Boston. Cross ice to Laurie as Boston works it in their own end. And now Kastelik brings it up. Pestered by Kulak on his way in. A bobble through center. Dewar keeps it alive for the Penguins. Waits for help to come. Dewar works it in down low. And Curley takes it away here for the Bruins. Here's Peak. Pittsburgh caught in a change. Curley a shot. Tip try just wide. And Zacha recovers in the corner. Out in front, a bobble and taken away by Pittsburgh. And now numbers if they hurry. Hindle disrupted on his way up. Here's Victor Arvidsson. He gets hit hard, kept alive. A shot, sticked aside by Sellups. Goes to the far half wall, controlled by Pittsburgh. Kulak across the red line. Centers to Kindle with a bobble. Floats into the slot, controlled by Lindholm, who just flips it out. Koivunen hit in front of the bench. Kindle up ahead here for the Penguins. Tried to get off a shot, goes off a skate out in front. We're over halfway through this third period. Still a 1-goal lead for the Bruins. Middlestad centering pass to Lindholm, who can't handle it. And Kindle tries to get it out of the zone. They will with Koivunen. who gets hit in front of the bench, turns it over, and now taken back by Koivunen. Koivunen brings it up here for Pittsburgh, drops it off for Novak, a shot on net, denied by Swayman. Battle for it along the near half wall. Koivunen there, Lindholm there, Arvidsson there. A lot of bodies there as Arvidsson recovers in the corner. Here's Middlestad. Bruins work it in. Back behind the net, out in front, score! Lindholm! And Boston makes it a 2-goal game. It's 3-1. What a feed from back behind the net. And the Bruins score the first goal in this game since late in the first period. And it's 3-1. Just found the open hole right next to Sillips. And it's 3-1 our score here in Boston. And now Pittsburgh has 2 goals to make up in a game where goals have been hard to come by. Minton centering, good stick by Brazeau, who has the lone goal tonight for the Penguins. Mantha walks it in, centers to Novak, denied by Swayman. Into the corner it comes. Novak escapes, at least for the moment, taken away by Boston, kept in by Shea. Goes off a skate, Brazeau down low, works it inside, Swayman holds his ground. And Pasternak has it, he'll bring it out. Pasternak walks it in, fires a shot, saved by Sillips. Novak recovers here for Pittsburgh. 7 minutes to go here in the third. 3-1 Boston. Shinnikov circles the net. Out in front, off the pipe. Another shot rings off the crossbar. Battle for it along the near far half wall. Kastelik recovers for Boston. Feeds it in deep. Kastelik takes it away, at least for a moment. Had a chance, but couldn't get anything off. Here's Rust. Walks it in. A bobble by Crosby, who couldn't handle it. Raquel Pindle on the boards in front of the Boston bench. Raquel keeps it alive, or at least for the moment. Pestered from behind by Lindholm. Rust jumps on it, but back out to center it comes. Big hit in center on Letang. And here come the Bruins. Kastelik tried to send in a shot, goes off a skate out in front. Raquel works it back behind his net, and Rust will bring it up and out. Under 5.5 to go in a 2-goal game. Rust drops it off for Kulak. Kulak sitting up the point now. Raquel. Letang on this side fires off a body. Good block out in front. Kept alive by Kulak on the point. Fires a shot. Goes wide. Might have hit off a body in front. And Lindholm recovers here for Boston out of the zone. Lindholm walks it in, pestered on his way through. And Sidney Crosby takes it away. Back out to center it comes and floats back into the Boston end. 4.5 to go here in the game. Pittsburgh running out of time here in a 2-goal contest. Raquel takes it away for the Penguins along the far half wall. Letang back to the point. Kulak sends it into the slot, taken away by Boston. And back through center they come. Here's Steves. Steves walks it in, tried to get off a shot. Good stick from behind. Here's Sidney Crosby. Crosby works it up ahead. Surrounded by Bruins. Inside pass disrupted by Kastelik. Under 4 minutes to go here in regulation. Pittsburgh changes. Lindholm brings it up here for Boston. Pestered on his way in. Letang has it for Pittsburgh. Steves takes it back. Kastelik. Errant pass goes all the way to the corner. And here's Lizotte back through neutral ice. Lizotte poked to the near side. Aspirant sends it right through the crease. And Boston will get it out of harm's way again. Boston playing incredible defense in transition. Shea takes it away. This one comes right in on the doorstep. But Pittsburgh recovers. Under 3 minutes to go. Lizotte poked on his way in. Boston takes it over again. Pittsburgh just cannot maintain offensive possessions. Steves drops it off for Kastelik. Works it back to the near side. Aspirant taken away by Dewar. Brazeau with the lone goal in this game for Pittsburgh. Brazeau, centering pass, tipped to Shea. Shea tried to send it in. Pester to the near side. And Boston recovers again. We're under 2 minutes to go. Kastelic feeds it in here for the Bruins. Back behind the Pittsburgh net, floats to the far half wall. Boston keeps it alive. Kastelic fires a shot, saved by Silovs. Minute 26 to go. And the Boston Bruins are playing incredible defense. Jeremy Swayman, a brick wall in between the pipes, shutting down everything for Pittsburgh, who's out shooting Boston 35-29, but still trailed by 2. Just the 1 goal in the game for the Penguins came back in the first period. Now keep your eyes on Silovs. He might empty the net here in a moment. Brazeau brings it up, and there goes Silovs. Empty net here for Pittsburgh. Down by 2. Zadorov takes it away for Boston. Up ahead, they're eyeing the empty net. Silovs comes back to close it. Out in front, a one-timer denied by Silovs. So Silovs was on his way to the bench, turned back and came back once Boston gained control, and he goes to the bench again. A shot on net denied by Swayman. Silovs gets all the way there this time. Crosby now outside Carlson, fires a shot, save. Penalty called. And what is this going to be? A hold is called on McAvoy, and now we're going to get a Penguins power play here in the final minute of this game. So Pittsburgh will empty their net, bring an extra skater in. Down by 2, trying to make an improbable comeback. Face-off controlled by Pittsburgh. Fires a shot. Swayman snares. 30 seconds left. So the net's still empty for Pittsburgh. They've also got a power play, so all kind of skaters on the ice right now here for Pittsburgh. Face-off controlled by the Penguins, and another shot on net snared by Swayman with 26 seconds to go. A lot of things need to go the Penguins' way. There's step 1. A goal for the Penguins here in the final seconds. And it's a 1-goal game. The power play goal makes it 3-2. Right off the draw, the puck just kind of sat there in the red circle. As he goes top shelf over Swayman. 3-2 our score. Pittsburgh not dead just yet, but they've only got a tiny bit of time to try to do something. 23 seconds to go in the game. Pittsburgh will bring it up. They'll empty their net again. Kinnikov back behind, circles around, and it goes all the way back out to center. Crosby jumps on it. 12 seconds to go in the game. A bobble. Middlestead takes it away. Kinnikov keeps it alive. 7 seconds to go. Crosby inside Kendall. Fires, and it's saved by Swayman with 2 seconds left. And it'll come down to a face-off in the Boston end. Two seconds left. Face-off in the Bruins end. Here we go. Bruins jump on it, and the time will expire. The Bruins hold off the Penguins here at home and extend their 10-game home winning streak to number 11. As they hold off the Penguins 3-2 here at TD Garden. What a game. As Jeremy Swayman was excellent in between the pipes, he gave up that late goal to give Pittsburgh a chance. But he stopped them when it meant the most. Bruins shut down Sidney Crosby and the Penguins here tonight. Big hits all the way around. And a 3-2 win for the Bruins, who secure a big 2 points and extend their home winning streak.